Duran, anything you want to add to since I've run my mouth so much, anything else you want to say?
Go outside and play. I'm listening to fully cinematic.
Well, all right. Sounds good. But I remember now, and do you remember, so his first film that I think he wrote the script, and Tony Tite is a person, he is with a film company out of, I believe, Atlanta. Anyway, so they joined forces, and he wrote the movie Negative Exposure. And I was just reading about it because my coworker Siobhan and I were talking earlier about the fact that we were doing the podcast tonight. And she said, "Well, tell my Bishop, hey." I said, "I'll tell him you tell hello." So, but anyway, he wrote the film Negative Exposure, which is the reverse. And I swear, I thought we had talked about this at one time, or maybe in one of the shows. But this is a film that was done. It was actually filmed here in Columbia, and it was basically to show reverse racism of what would it be like if white people were in a reverse situation with black people, with African Americans, in terms of racism in society, to see what would happen
in modern times.
Yeah, and they filmed that here in Columbia in 2020, right? And it was released right before COVID hit. Yeah. And so I'm going to talk to them about that and see if that has had any sort of impact to, what they had expected to, as far as how they did with it and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
So they filmed that movie before all of the protests of 2020?
I think it was around the time, because what I read, and I'll let him speak to it, but I remember what I did read with he had, with everything that had taken place, it just really weighed heavily on him with everything that had taken place in society. And he said that's why he just said he decided he would, he just, and in fact, he's written 5 scripts from what I've read.
The Bishop has?
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a little reading about his work with the church.
Mm-hmm.
He has grown that thing tremendously over the past few years. He took it from, I mean, it's international now. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm. In fact, I was watching some of the videos.
Yeah, I think he joined in like the year, 2012 or something like that.
Well, he's gone from the tiniest of churches to building this tremendous church that obviously in fact, he'll have to give us a number of because I think there's if there's 2 campuses, you're pretty big. I mean, and then they have a 40,000 square foot studio.
Yeah, but they also have a satellite place in Ghana.
Oh my gosh.
And they got another one in South America soon.
Now I missed that. So, because I mean, there was quite a few things. I wanted to see how he preached as well. I loved the way he acted in the movie, The Lady Makers. He's an actor. I mean, he really, I was quite impressed. And I have to tell you, the man can wear a beard. That was the coolest beard I've ever seen. But I wanted to see him from a preaching perspective. And his demeanor is not what I've expected. And, that's not to stereotype anybody from a preaching perspective. It's just with his deeper voice and how he is. I kind of figured he'd be more verbal. I mean, in terms of expulsion of the sound of his voice, and he's just to me, he's just kind of soft quieted. He's just very cool. Some people, some preachers and ministers, are, I grew up watching preachers that were fire and brimstone and they screamed and hollered, and then and that kind of scared me, but he's not like that. He's just very and I enjoy listening to some of his sermons, so I'll have to definitely listen into him some more. But
listen, they have I found that they have a church in Baltimore, they have another one in Mexico, they have one in Sierra Leone, and another one in Ghana, and they have Word of God Espanol, which is,
oh my word,
I don't think it's tied to like a specific place, but they got it in Spanish language.
Right. Oh my goodness. Well, I haven't heard back from you. He could be tied up on something, but so did you? Yeah, but I mean, I got these because I asked my coworker today when I called and talked to her. I said, "Listen, I got," because she told me that she'd watched. So there's two ladies that I know. One, Cassandra's the one who gave me the number and had to get in touch with. She's the one who reached out for me.
Yeah.
And then Savon is the one who told me that. So I called her today and I said, well, I just wanted to let you know I'm going to be talking to Bishop tonight. I said he's supposed to be joining the podcast, and she was like, "What?" But I said,
was she the one who wanted a link to the show?
No, Cassandra's the one who wanted the link. Okay. But now Savon wants it too, because she told me, when you get finished, make sure you send me the link. I said, don't worry, I'll get everything to you. I said, but we're not, it's, we're doing the show, and then we ran, and we'll edit it, and then get it all ready and send everybody out the link and post it, and publish it. But anyway, I asked her, I said, so you watch? She said, I watched it last night. I said, well, I did too. I said, me and my wife did. She said, what did y'all think? And I said, I liked it. I said, I thought it was good. I said, it was, I said, I hate to say it, but it was much better than I anticipated. I said, only because it's not that I have anything against faith-based films, because I do like them, like the brothers that did like Firekeeper and, the Kirk Cameron movies and stuff. I mean, they're pretty good. But I'm so used to watching 98% of what I watch is Hollywood mainstream type stuff, But she said, well, I said, but I've got some questions on you about this movie. She said, so we started asking each other questions to try to make sure we understood, and we're on the same page. So, but and it was let's see, that thing, it started. Let's see, it's almost a 2-hour film. I mean, it started like 9:15, I think, or did we start at 9:30? It might have been right at 2 hours, because we didn't cut it up till 11:30. I'm like, darn. So you definitely got your money's worth too from a film perspective. So, but
what did Terry say?
She liked it. I mean, she did, and she especially the latter half. Now, she did leave for a little bit and said, "All right, I gotta go." She said, "I gotta go take my bath and all that stuff." So, but and I said, "That's fine." I said, but anyway, she came back and watched it and finished the rest of it. She liked it. Yeah, it's 122 minutes. It is 2 hours and 2 minutes.
Okay, so I have some news for you, which might change your whole opinion about that latest Thor movie.
Okay.
This is something that I already knew, but I forgot all about it when I was talking to you about the movie. So there's a lot of big stars that guest star in the movie. Like I think I already told you, Natalie Portman is in it, Christian Bale.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to tell you that I told you Russell Crowe is in it. Tessa Thompson. I forgot to tell you that Matt Damon and Sam Neill make appearances.
What? And
the biggest reason of all that might convince you to actually give this movie a shot, there's also a cameo appearance by Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, I'm not watching it then. No way, no sir. You've done sealed the deal. That's the last nail in the coffin. You done no sir, Bob.
You should see how eager your face was.
No. You know what I was thinking? I thought John Bernthal. Maybe it's gonna be John Bernthal, or who's the other guy that's so good that I love? Not Russell Crowe. Tom Hardy. I love Tom Hardy. He's so good too.
Well, I did see there are two pretty good shows out that I've seen in their entirety where John Bernthal plays a key role in both of them recently.
Are they do remake? I think I read where he was going to be in a version of American Gigolo.
No, that's not out. He's in an HBO show called, what is the name of it? Oh, it's called We Own the City.
Okay, I think I've heard of that. I just haven't watched it.
He's a star of that, yeah. And he also plays a key role in a Hulu series called The Bear.
No, I've never heard of that.
The Bear is about running a restaurant. This guy he went to culinary school, and he's got training by top-notch chefs and all that stuff. But his brother dies and leaves him his hometown small Chicago restaurant. And John Bernthal is the brother who left him the restaurant. So
wait a minute. John Bernthal died?
Yeah, but he shows up in flashbacks.
Okay, so I'm about to say, well, that stinks. Okay. Yeah, I love him. He's so good. Great actor. Him and I'm telling that one movie, that little independent film he did this past year.
What movie?
Oh, what was it? The guy that owned the garage.
No, that was trash.
You hold on, everybody. For those that are going to be watching this,
First of all,
give me a moment, please.
it was basically a play.
It was, and it was
And secondly,
phenomenal.
it was like pro full assault.
What?
They still assaulted that dude at the end of the movie and took a picture.
Wait a minute. They
Small engine repair. That's what you're talking about.
yes.
Yeah, they had that dude tied up in a chair.
What?
And Shea Wiggum, whoever, I don't remember his character's name, he does something to the dude.
Oh, I don't remember that.
And
name.
they take a
well,
picture and then they use it for blackmail.
Okay, hold on. Then maybe Lord, how could did I forget all that? Oof. Okay.
I tried to block it out, but when you brought the movie up, it came back.
Okay, well, let's move on to something else, because that is definitely not that's definitely not a positive thing we need to share with our subscribers. So well, all right, so okay here. So well, so it looked like, I guess, may have gotten tied up, and that's okay.
I found something out about you.
What would that be?
I was digging through the crates, going through old articles on my movie blog. Come across a review by John Zanoni from 2018.
Oh, what was it on?
Of all things, it was on an MCU movie, Infinity War. And it was actually a positive review.
Hold on here. Hold up.
Your facade is starting to crumble.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let me see this thing. Hold on. I can't even remember what the darn movie's about. So it must not have been that good. Infinity War.
Yep.
Oh, Avengers. Okay. You mean to tell me I actually sat and watched this thing?
You sure did.
I think
You said your only real issue was that you didn't know who half the people were, but other than that, it was very entertaining.
That movie made $2.48 billion. Now,
Billion with the B.
Billion with the B. Yes, that is insane. But I don't remember. I'm watching the trailer and I don't remember a darn thing about it. Must not have impressed me too much.
Well, I do have to say that the trailer is fake. They put stuff in the trailer that's not actually in the movie so that people wouldn't be spoiled.
Well, that's not very nice. So, okay.
No, it is nice because that way you go into the movie. You're
totally, yeah.
Watch the movie.
Wow. Somebody put on there, although Endgame is the highest grossing Avengers movie, its predecessor, Infinity War, is arguably a slightly stronger work of cinema.
It's not just slightly, it's much stronger.
Okay, then. Well, I cannot believe that. Yeah, I wonder if I put anything on the Facebook. Was that on the Facebook page?
I don't know. I found it on MTV is Dead.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's interesting. So, well, all right. Well, so folks, we look like our guest may have had to, something might have come up, but anyway, so let's, I do want to talk about it though, so we can at least mention the fact that we, I was able to take a look at it last night and mentioned to my friends about it, but it was good. It was. So anyway, Fully Cinematic with Rand and John. Thank you for joining us tonight, and definitely hope you will come back and that you'll subscribe and you'll like and share your comments, thoughts, and send us on to other people so they can join as well. But we were going to have a guest tonight, and he may still show up. So I'm not going to give up hope, and we could perhaps do it again. But I have some coworkers who just, one is a current coworker, one was a former, but they're still friends of mine. And one of the ladies just happened to mention that her church was producing and creating a film, and sent me a trailer for it. and it starred Jasmine Guy, who I just absolutely just love. Jasmine Guy, I always loved her from Another World. I just thought she was so good in that.
A different world.
I mean, a different world, yeah, different world. Excuse me on that, but anyway, she so the movie is called The Lady Makers, and we were going to have, I guess, Bishop Eric W. Davis, who was the bishop over of Word of Church God and Ministries International. From what I understand and reading on a little bit about him and his background, apparently this is not the first film that he's done, and he's actually written several scripts. He's written 5 up to this point. So he apparently is getting into faith-based films, which in a way, I guess, could be risky. There's some that have come out that have done quite well. Then there's some that I think if you look at it from a global perspective, as far as movies, it's not really obviously going to be as high as anywhere near that you could be with, like we were just talking about with MCU type films or any other mainstream type movies. But anyway, so this is it's a 2-hour film, very good. It stars, again, Jasmine Guy. She plays a lady who works for 3 elderly Jewish ladies. This is filmed in and around Atlanta. It's modern time, filmed in and around Atlanta. And she's been with these ladies for quite a while. And so it segues into show 3 young ladies from the, I don't want to call it, I don't know if you want to call it the hood, if you want to call it the street, however you want to call it, anyone that they're on the bad side of life, if you would.
The wrong side of the track.
Wrong side of the track. Thank you. That's the best way to put it. And the young ladies are all there before a judge, and the judge tells these young ladies, said, well, my feeling is, and what we should do is just basically incarcerate you, punish you for what you've done. Because I think all 3 of them were charged with, one was charged with having a weapon, the other, and all 3 were charged with handling meth, or having meth, and was charged with intent to distribute. And one of the young ladies, later on we find out, has been involved in prostitution and basically has been with hundreds and hundreds of men. That was a very tough scene. Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, so what he decided to do was, instead of incarcerating them, they had this, and I guess we'll call it a home. I don't want to call it an institution, but he just mentioned the fact that he was going to send them to this facility, this home, this place with these elderly women, and they could stay there. I want to say he said for 45 days or 50 days or anywhere, but it was anywhere between 45 to 90 days. I can't remember exactly, but that they would go there, and then at the end of that time, then they were there, the women would determine and let the court and the state know whether or not they felt like the young ladies should be released, having served their time, or if they should actually be incarcerated. And he before he lets them go, he tells them, I have a feeling that it's going to be the other way, that you're going to end up being incarcerated. So anyway, so they get taken away, and they end up getting in a van and going to this house. Beautiful home. And I mean, it's a place anybody would want to stay in. Just gorgeous. Everything's very nice in it. You could tell the women are they're sisters, but they've obviously done very well for themselves. Just food, just everything. Have the preacher, or the Bishop Davis, actually plays in the film. He plays Potato. I don't know why they call him Potato, but anyway, he's called Potato.
That was going to be my first question.
How that came up with, but anyway, so he's there. He's like their handyman. Kind of helps around the house and do some things and help with the garden and stuff like that. And at first, the girls are just astounded at they just come in with a tough attitude, just like they would in prison. You can't do this to me, and da da da. And I'm not staying here and all this stuff. And the ladies put it to him real quick and said, you will be here, and you'll do this, and you'll do what we say. And for every infraction you encounter or you incur, we can add another 45. I think she said another 45, or however long they could add to their sentence. But anyway, so I like the way the story goes in this with this film though, because it takes and kind of gives a little background on each of the young ladies' lives. And like one of the young ladies, like I said, she just ended up had a bad home and ended up on the streets, and ended up just she had several abortions. She was even on a first name basis with some of the nurses at the clinics. She just had been with, she said, hundreds of men in like 3 years. One of the young ladies had fallen for a guy, and she, he had made her all these promises, and he kept promising her stuff. Where she ended up getting pregnant, and she ended up with 3 children. And something sad happens later on that really impacts her. And then we have another young lady who really, she said for the most part, she had a decent upbringing. It wasn't bad, but then some things happened within her family that turned her and just made her have a bad attitude, and just didn't want to, just went down the wrong path and just ended up on the street selling drugs and, getting money. And I don't know. So it kind of takes, and it's funny because each of the 3 ladies kind of pair off. I mean, they just kind of get drawn to one particular girl, young lady, and work with them. And so it's really I think it's a moving film. It touches on how everybody in the film has had to deal with sexism, racism, taking instructions, learning how to be disciplined, learning how to fend for yourself, learning how to love other people, how to be forgiving. I mean, it really, it just touches on a lot of the stuff. And I liked it. The one thing I'm a little bit confused on. Oh, wait a minute, this might be our guest. Let me see. Hello. Hello. Hey.
Are we live or are you recording this?
Oh, we're going to record it and then we can edit it.
No, you're fine. I was just my son is going to pull it up. I just sent the email to you.
Okay.
I apologize.
No, you're good.
Up with running around. I forgot to 7:30. Well, I forgot what time it was.
Oh, that's all right. No problem. No, sir. That is no problem at all.
Let me go in here and
okay.
He's pulling it up, and I'll be on in about 5 minutes.
That'd be great. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Okay. Bye-bye. All right. Yes, sir. So anyway, that's our guest, everybody. He will be on. So he I don't know if you heard that, he got tied up, and anyway, his son's bringing it up, and he was asking if it was live or what we were going to do, but then you heard what I said. But anyway, so anyway, that's where we are. I'm not going to go any further, because when our guest joins, there's quite a few questions. I want him to kind of get into the, since he wrote the script, I'm going to assume that he wrote this one too. And I want to have him kind of tell us a little bit about it. But I am anxious to hear, because there's a ceremony that takes place in it, in this film, and it definitely has it leads up to the climax, and it's very touching. Yeah. So we'll see what he says when he joins us. So I don't know. Have you watched many, while waiting on the bishop to join? Have you watched many what they call faith-based films? I mean, is that like a genre or?
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of them.
Yeah.
They're it's pretty dicey though.
Well, it is. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, because from my perspective, some of them you just look at it and the acting, I'm just like, oh,
right. Yeah.
You got to get some professionals in here, because this is not going to work.
And even the ones that do have stars, sometimes the direction is kind of.
Oh yeah. This this one, I love the opening sequence of the Lady Makers. It's I don't know who put that together, but they really did a great job with it. It just was very professional, very different looking. Oh, well, all right. Well, let's see here. So anyway, yeah, I want to, I'll go ahead and say this while we're talking, because what was the movie I went and saw? Okay. I told you I went and saw Where the Crawdads Sing. And that one had a touching ending. And it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I'm in here with a bunch of people. Don't cry. Whatever you do, don't let it go. It's something that just and because I had forgotten about the ending of the book with this particular piece, and of course I was thinking about my mom and everything, just kind of getting a little. And in this last night when I was watching it, I was doing the same thing. I was sitting there, Terry's in her recliner, and Chris my son always picks it when Terry sees something, she'll pick up something, she'll kind of do her face like this, she don't want people to see her. He knows she's crying, and so I was sitting there last night thinking, okay, don't let it go. Just keep it together. Don't cry. Don't cry. But it was just really, it was good. It was touching. So
this movie made you do that too?
Yes. I'm telling that. And I was sitting there thinking, and I'm about to ask, I don't know if you can tell us this or not, but I was looking at the young actresses that played, the three main parts, but I don't think they were real tears they were shedding, but man, they did a good job as far as their emotions. I mean, letting it out. So I don't know. I've heard it where sometimes they'll take and use that. Well, there he is.
Hey.
Well, hello there, sir. How are you?
Hey guys, how's it going, man?
We're good.
How you doing?
We're good.
Yeah.
But no, we've been talking about. We were just. I was already giving kind of a synopsis to everybody, and but I don't want to take away your thunder. I guess real quick though, we'll just tell you. As I mentioned, Rand and I just do this. We just clicked. Love talking about films, and
Hold on a second. All right, I'm sorry.
Nope, you're good.
Right, yeah, you said y'all do films. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is your time. So, but no, we
listen, Bishop John's the same way. Sometimes he'll ask me if he should close the door behind him.
Well, look at this is my same spot, and look at my little Hunting Island picture I've always got there in the back, and I
see it back there.
I'm gonna have to change that. I've got to get like a film, like something that's a green screen or something back there. So maybe I can borrow some of your stuff from your studio sometime.
Hey man, come on over. We got it. That's for sure.
Well, that's what I want to get into too. But anyway, we're real excited. Cassandra's the one that told me about the film, and I know you've been promoting it a lot, and I watched it last night, and absolutely, I was just sitting here giving Rand some details on it, and he and I were talking about his thoughts, my thoughts.
I caught you at the end talking about the girls crying, man, which is something that I love to talk about because I was blown away at their ability to cry on command like
and
that.
Did they really do that?
And there was no water sprinkled. They were squirting tears. I was so glad they didn't ask Potato to cry because I would have been incapable.
Well, they did. I'm telling you, that's what I mean. I would just sit because my Rand knows, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but my mother passed in December of 2020, right? During the whole COVID, the first year of COVID, and she was always just my heart. So, and I'm still kind of going through the process of accepting, that she's not here. I mean, I know she's in a much better place, thank the Lord, but anyway, so I just happened to see where the Crawdads thing earlier last week and gave my little take on it. But then I watched this last night, and the story was so touching. And at the end, with the two of the three sisters, I was just, man, I was telling Rand, I was like, okay, don't bust loose in front of the wife. Don't cry. Don't let it go.
You know what's so funny? Some of the toughest guys I know that came to the premiere here in Columbia was saying the same thing. He said, one guy said, look, man, I just sat there with my wife and cried, man. I didn't even try to hide it anymore, man.
Well, they did a phenomenal job. I'm telling you, I was in fact, Rain and I were talking just before. One of the other things we mentioned just before you got on was faith-based films, and I asked Rain, I said, as much as we talked about movies and cinema and other stuff, I was asking how many had he watched, and we have discussed a few, but we just haven't. Like with I don't know who the other brothers were that started up like with Fire
Kindred Brothers.
Yeah. And they've done very well. I mean, seem to have done very well. And so, are you trying to follow along as kind of along the same line?
Yeah,
they're different.
Yeah. So with a twist. So one of the things that my critique on faith-based films is that we stay in two genres. Kendrick's tried to break out of it a little bit, but it's miracles and marriage. It's typically we're along those two. We don't deal with social issues. We don't broaden, in my opinion. So we're kind of going into modern day parables, man, and dealing with more life issues. Our first two movies, we pulled the first movie back, which was Negative Exposure which is a reverse society.
Yeah.
Basically, the premise is doing to others as you have been doing to you. But it deals with the issue of two Black police officers kill a white kid. And it's a reverse society. So, you know, we actually pulled that movie back because we're going to insert Lynn Whitfield in that movie the way we did Jasmine Guy. Because when you do independent films, you just don't get the same attention if you don't have a named star. But so we kind of pulled two things we did. We stopped calling it a faith film because, you know, they that win souls must be wise. If you show the bait, they won't bite it kind of deal. So it's a modern day parable where everything is woven in there. And we want the movies to be interesting enough so that people want to watch it, you know, that the movies, because sometimes I think some of our faith films come off kind of sappy, you know, and we don't want to, and I'm just being honest, you know.
No, I mean, I know what you're saying exactly.
Yeah, and so we don't want the sappy thing, but we want the emotion without all the profanity, without all the nudity. The kids can sit down and watch it with you, and everybody can enjoy the picture. That's what I loved about this. The critiques that we've got cross-sectional, from kids to 90-year-olds, love the movie, you know. So we're excited about men and women. Now I'm really surprised about the amount of men, because I thought it was a pure chick flick, you know, but the men are like, no, I like this movie.
I'm telling you, it pulled me in. I mean, I could, all right, you know, can't wait. Well, first of all, I was excited. I said, well, now that Cassandra and Savon, who of course are members of your church, I was like, oh, they're excited about me watching it. So I've got to be excited because they're, you know, and what if I'm not? What if I don't like it? What do I tell them?
Right, what do you tell them?
But I told Savon, I talked to her today, and she was excited. She watched it last night. She loved it.
Yeah.
I said, good. I'm glad you watched it because I got some questions for you, and so we started tag teaming and talking about it. And in fact, I wrote a bunch of questions down. So and then Rand, I know, had a couple questions for you too. But so all right, we got 1 minute and 15. So before we sign off, let me just everybody here, thank you. We are so thankful to have our guests join us, Bishop Davis, and let me it's Eric W. Davis, correct?
Yeah, Warren is the middle name.
That's right. And I noticed it was really cool. You got 3 sons, right?
Yeah.
And all 3 have the same middle name.
Just like George named all of his George. I named all of my middle Warren.
Very nice, very nice. I love it. I love it. So, but so we're grateful that you are here to join us tonight, and want to hear about because in fact I had read and Rand and I talked a little bit about negative exposure, and I wanted to ask you about the release of that because that's one I'm going to have to watch. And then the Lady Makers, of course, which is the latest. But yes, thank you, Bishop Davis, for joining us. He is the bishop with Word of God Church Ministries International here in Columbia. I understand you got a couple of campuses. You're really growing. So we're going to continue talking about this in just a minute. So
okay, let's do it.
So we'll get the link back up to you, and we'll pick back up because I want to get into this whole Lady Makers and talk about it and share it with the audience. So
well, thank y'all for having me too.
Oh yes, sir. We appreciate your time. So
Absolutely.
We won't keep it much long. I know you.
Man, I'm good.
We're so blessed and thankful for you joining us because this is just when Rand and I get on the roll, especially when it comes to movies. My wife is like, you got to wrap it up. You're just taking too long.
I get it. No, I'm just, listen, we need all the help we can get, you know, when you're independent and you're not like the bigs. Jasmine was good because we get more than the usual press coverage, but you know, we got to get this movie promoted. So the way I was telling people, this is a campaign for us, you know, where the bigs, the opening weekend, is kind of not really the culmination, but that's the, you know, because they've marketed for 6 months. But for us, you know, we have to spread our money out. And now the campaign begins, and a lot of that's word of mouth. So I want to say thank you to you guys, because that's where a lot of independents don't make it. They just don't get the exposure. So we're not taking anything for granted. So, you know, and everybody who tunes in and watches this, please go see the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please share it, you know, so we can get the movie out there.
Absolutely. We've had.
Is there any chance of possibly sometime down the line of getting a sequel?
Absolutely.
Good question.
We think this movie is either going to be a sequel or it's going to turn into a series. We know it's going to go make it to network. I'm not even worried about that. I think it has that quality. But the way we ended it, John, you know, that it ended that way so that it could become a sequel,
Absolutely.
you know?
Yeah, Rand, that's a good, excellent question. So yes, and that,
Yeah.
that would be good. I'd watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're already kind of thinking through what that would look like. We know Jasmine would love to come back and work. So, we just I'm hoping, fellas, that this movie will I'm hoping will kind of do what Slumdog Millionaire did, how it kind of came in from the side, and it was just a good movie, that everybody watched. And then, it got some nominations, and, all of a sudden it became a cult classic. I'm hoping that this movie can have that kind of impact, but, we'll see.
Are you a film buff yourself?
Man, I would say I am a little bit of a film connoisseur. I'm probably not crazy with it, but I would say I am. I would also say, though, it's also so much junk out there now, man.
That is very true.
So it's kind of hard because it's not like it used to be where you get so many films a year. It's like people just throw stuff out with no plot.
Yes.
You wonder where they got the money from to shoot it. It just intimates, so it kind of wears you out a little bit.
Well, see, that is part of our mission, because with all the streaming services out now, there's no way. A lot of people are just bombarded with options, and it's hard to kind of cut through the fluff. So we try to do that for people. We try to point you in the right direction, or point you away from the trash.
Right.
I was getting ready to say, if it's trash, Randall's gonna tell you it's trash. He will not. He'll tell me, John, it's trash. I ain't watching it, and I'm not reviewing that or whatever. He on his comments. So
I appreciate that. That helps a lot. I can't wait to see what his comment is after he does get a chance to watch it. And I get it, Rand. It just came out Friday, right. So but when you do, I think you'll agree that this is definitely not trash. And but there is a lot of trash out there. I mean, some stuff you watch in 10 minutes in, you're like, okay, why am I doing this?
Right. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but of course, Rand, no, I guess you don't, but I have to look at it too from how are things going to progress because I have 2 grandbabies, of course, they're my heart, but they're only 5 and 8, but as they get older and the stuff is out there for them to watch, I don't want them just watching just some of this mess that's out there that's sending wrong signals, wrong messages, sending them down I don't know. It's just, it is hard to pick and choose. And some of the stuff I've seen before or gone to see, I'm like, and I told Rand, I said, I've had to go get my money back. It's like, nope, I can't sit and watch this because I don't need to listen to certain word being stated every 5, every other word is this. That's just ridiculous. Give me some meat, give me some stuff to work with, give me some good contacts and stuff. So it's a lot out there. It really is. I've got so many shows I'm trying to stream right now. I can only imagine what you can do with everything you got going on between your ministry and your other side stuff. You're writing scripts and you're involved with, you obviously got a lot of relationships with some big people, and I just don't know how you're keeping it up. So
I don't know when you find time to sleep.
That's what everybody says to me, man. It's a mad world. I think this has probably been the biggest world. It was a story I read when I was born in New York, and I was 9 years old when I moved back home. My family's from here, Columbia, and in New York, and I don't know, it was kindergarten or first grade. We read the story about Pecos Bill. I don't know if y'all remember, who the cowboy who rolled the tornado or the whirlwind.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of having a Pecos Bill moment now, man. I'm riding the whirlwind, but I'm grateful. Things are doing well, but it really has been a challenge, man. This has been a challenge. Especially last week, it was crazy, but you have to do it. Now we're looking at a New York premiere that just popped up. We'll confirm tomorrow. We'll probably be in New York on Thursday doing an evening premiere. And it looks like we should either be doing Good Morning America, the Today Show, or hopefully, Cameron Hall or one of those.
Oh, man, you are, all right.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
But that's the Jasmine factor. It's just, they're not doing it for potato, I promise.
Well, you tell Miss Jasmine that I am a big fan, and I am so thrilled that she was able to shoot this with you. And I hope everything will continue on. So and just much success. But we're definitely going to promote it out there. Like I said, we're not big, but when I told Cassandra, I said, "What do you think you might think about coming on the show?" And she said, "Well, I'll ask him." I said, "Oh, well, I thought, okay, you know, so, but I definitely am thrilled about it. I told Rand, before you got on, I said, Rand, I'm so nervous this time. I said, what in the world? But then I said, and now I can't shut up because I just enjoy talking to you so much. So it's like, Rand, you need to.
If it wasn't for the fees, you know, I would have brought Jasmine on, man. I thought about it. To bring her on, but I'm trying to stage her out, man.
You know, I don't know, Rand. I might have been able to buy her like a steak dinner or something, maybe. I don't know.
Well, you know what? No, hold on a second. Hold on. Let me put her on the phone. Hold on 1 second. Let me grab her phone. My phone's almost dead though. Hold on.
I'm sorry. I'm about to fall out of this chair because I really don't know what to say at this point. So. That is crazy.
So did you say that the movie's on Amazon?
Amazon Prime. Yep. And it's $7.99, I think.
Let's see if we can get her up. I don't know. She's kind of an early bird though. Let's see if
she may be asleep, and that's all right. So
she I don't know if she's on she shouldn't be on the set of Harlem now. I don't know. What's going on, Jazz? How you doing?
I'm great. I'm glad to get back to Atlanta with Cass.
Oh, you coming back to Atlanta with Cass? Where y'all coming from?
Savannah. Remember I got that cameo in that?
Yeah.
Well, they moved my date. I was supposed to leave Thursday, and then they moved it to Monday, and then, so we left Sunday.
Okay. Well,
Rabbit Drive. It's about 3.5 hours.
Okay.
It's a 30-minute flight, you know.
Oh yeah, that was
so
good.
Like, if Cass is available, see if he can drive me. So he drove me Sunday. I worked today. That was last night.
Yeah.
And we had a hotel room because I didn't know how late I'd work. So now we're on the road because I got out early.
Well, listen, I actually called you in the middle of an interview. I'm on a Zoom interview with John and Rand. These guys have a podcast that they do for film reviews. They wanted to review The Lady Makers, and John is such a big fan of Jasmine. So you know what? Let me call her. It's just we couldn't get on the Zoom, and so at least he can hear your voice. So I don't, John, can you hear her on the phone?
I can hear her just fine.
He said he can hear you just fine. So Jasmine, would you just say hi to John and Rand, please?
What are the names?
John and Rand.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy. He does know me.
How you doing?
They said, hey, how you doing? It's a good thing I didn't try to get you on this one with me because you're on the road anyway. But to all the fans that are out there who love you, I just wanted to give them a little quick peek in you. I told them that you were down to earth. You're not a diva, and so this is an opportunity for them to see who you are.
Right.
Say something to the fans because I don't know how can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
You're coming
through. I got you on speakerphone and they can hear you pretty good.
Perfectly, yeah.
So go ahead and say something to the fans. Say something to the fans about the movie. Look, I got 2% on my phone now, and I'm not charged.
Everybody to go see theladymakers.com. You can get it on Amazon Prime or the website theladymakers.com. It's a really good movie. I wouldn't tell y'all to go if I didn't feel for this project. And I think you're going to enjoy it.
I loved it.
So I want everybody to see it.
So John is saying he loved it. He watched it. Rand hasn't seen it yet. But that's what we're sitting here kind of doing a review without doing a spoiler on it. And I said, okay, well, let me just get my girl on the phone because I think that the fans would enjoy hearing your voice, and hopefully they'll get a chance to see you soon too.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Tell him I'm trying to get John to watch School Days.
Hey, look, Rand is saying he's trying to get John to watch School Days, so he's taking it way back, Jazz.
Yeah, but that's a good movie. He should have been seen it.
He should have seen it a long time ago.
That's what I told him.
That's cool. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to hit y'all in a minute when I finish this interview. I'll call you back when I can charge my phone. All right.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
you.
Well, we will definitely do everything we can to promote this, Bishop. Thank you for doing that. Because I told Rand when you left, I was like, am I gonna fall out of this chair right here? Did I hear him just say he was gonna call Jasmine Guy? She was always, I tell you, I just loved her. She was so good. And she's still great, and she did a great job in film. Absolutely, I just loved her attitude in it. But this has been an honor. I know you got a lot to do, and you obviously got to get back with Jasmine.
We're making our rounds, and like I said, we're trying to. When you guys get a chance, I'd love to invite you out to the ribbon cutting so you can really see that we've built a state-of-the-art quality studio. This is not.
All right, I'm down.
Yeah. So we want you to come out for that, man, and bring your camera and all, because there'll be some stars there. But we want Columbia to see that we really can do this. And as a matter of fact, and I'm reluctant to call names, but
Sure.
a lot of the stars just want to work. That's what people don't miss that they go where the work is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can provide the opportunity for them, if they, and they like the product, they're going to come. So we're hoping that we can produce an atmosphere that it doesn't become, it becomes common when people see certain stars, coming to Columbia working,
Yeah, absolutely.
around town. That's going to be pretty cool.
Well, like I was telling Rand, I mean, we didn't know that the gentleman that just did, he founded the film festival here in Blythewood, Doco Fest. And I did not realize that one or two of they're the late. Well, for one thing, he's friends with the gentleman who played Michael Myers, one of the Halloween, a couple of the latest Halloween films. He's from Blythewood. Did not know that.
What's the guy that formed the film festival's name?
His name is Ray Smith.
Okay.
And he founded the Doco Film Fest here in Blythewood, and it's been going on how many years, Brand? 3-4 years now. He promotes young high school students. He tries to get high school students that are interested in the film making to put together their films and send them in. In fact, they submitted the winner. They showed the winner down at the Beaufort International Film Festival this past year.
Okay.
But Ray could be somebody else we could get on the show and we could all get together and just chit chat and talk about what's going on. But he just, the film that's coming out for him is called Thunderclap. And
so that's his film.
Probably I think it's like a 12 or 15 minute film, but he played a part in it. So I'm excited for him on that, but he's definitely in the films as well. And but what's the other lady's name though, Rand, that she was won the Oscar for it's the latest Blade Runner film.
Oh, the one that did Blade Runner 2049.
Yes, she won an Oscar for special effects, I think, and she's here. She lives here in Blythewood. So, Columbia and Blythewood, northeast side of town. We've got talent here. And we just hopefully we can all come together at some point in time and help each other out. I just love it because I just love watching movies. So and talking about it, and it's just entertaining.
And I like the idea. I like the idea of not having to travel, not having to get up and go somewhere else.
Yeah. We have a legitimate bona fide studio now that we can produce in, and I'm really, really excited. I mean, I think that when you guys come over, let me say this: our editing suite is on par with Universal, Columbia Studio. We literally put a suite together that when you walk in, you're not gonna believe you're in Columbia. We call that building the spaceship. So when you walk into the spaceship, you're gonna see that these guys aren't playing. And then we have for special effects, we have green screen, white screen, black screen room. We have props, wardrobe, fully outfitted wardrobe suites. We've got you name it, man. It's
got the whole thing.
Got the whole thing. It's 45,000 to 50,000 square feet of studio. So sound stages. We have a cafe that's also a sound stage. So we've got. Hold on a second.
Oh, sure.
Milton, give me a second. I'm on a podcast. Are you at the arena? Is the air on or off? Is it cool or hot? Oh, they told me it was warm in there. I'll call you back in a minute. All right. All right, cool.
Yeah, we need to wrap up. I know you got stuff. 9:15. You still got people calling you. So
nice, man. Listen, it's the life out here. But yeah, it's a full functioning studio. That the sound stage that I was saying, we have a cafe because there's a sitcom that we're looking at shooting, a podcast, you know, for stuff. But there's a sitcom we're working on now that's built around a restaurant. I'll say this, you know, to make you laugh. So if you mentioned sequel, Rand, one of the sequels we're thinking about is a sitcom called Potatoes, or built around a restaurant called Potatoes. And
Oh my
so
God.
we're playing with that concept now, based on how Potato does in the movie. You know?
I was going to ask you. I was going to ask if, even aside from a sequel, is there a possibility of Potato popping up in some non-Lady Makers related stories?
Yeah, that's what we, like I said, if he becomes the iconic kind of character we believe he can, you know, the hard part though, man, is maintaining that accent. You know, I had to, the accent and the lip, you know, it was so funny when I was writing the script, man, and you don't realize how many different dialects there are. Southern dialects, man, Alabama's different from Georgia, from Mississippi, South Carolina, Florida. Like when I was down in Florida, they say, you know, we would say backyard, but they say bike. So,
Right.
It sounds like they're saying bike, B-I-K-E, bike.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so what I would have to do when I finally found Potato's dialect, I had to write the word the way Potato would say. So if it was north, in the script, I had to write north, A-N-A-W-F, and south, S-O-F. So I had to, you know, get this. So if I got to do a whole sitcom, man, and with this whole dialect, man, that's going to be some work, you know.
Rand, let me put it this way, Rand, when you watch this, I mean, like everybody in there is so good, but I would wear a T-shirt that says Potato and has a picture of him on my shirt. I just he is an iconic character. So he's just a pivotal part of it. But
and the golf hat. What about the Potato and the golf?
Oh yeah, I love it.
When's the last time we seen golf?
Exactly.
Man? So you know, so yeah, the answer to that is yes, Rand. I think again, though, Jasmine is a critical piece. I think the girl's going to do well, but anytime, you know, having Jazz in it, and I know she's ready to go. She did one of the interviews here in Columbia, and she said, I was excited. She said, we're going to make movies. We're going to do TV shows. We're going to do animation. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Columbia. I was like,
that's awesome.
Come on back.
Awesome. Yes.
I did see an interview that you and Jasmine did together with Watch, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Well, yeah, we did Watch, and then we did WIS, So the City. She did a lot more in Atlanta. Did Good Morning Atlanta. But I'm really, really hoping and praying that we get Good Morning America.
I do hope you do too. So.
Yeah.
So actually, that's what I'm about to call her back about, you know, and kind of get our schedules synced up, because we need to kind of lock all that down by tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Everything's moving fast, man. So,
well,
I appreciate you guys having the little guys on the show, man. I mean,
man, look,
big show like this, man. Y'all calling the little people. We're really appreciative.
And I'm gonna tell you now. I do have Rand's got a blog. Also, we have a site on. I have a site on Facebook called Cinema Fiends, and I put a lot of reviews out there. So it's okay to go ahead and put my review out there and promote it. You're good with it?
Absolutely. Please do.
Anything we can do.
Review,
okay.
Man. Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely. So don't worry, y'all have it. We'll be putting it out there for you, and just pray for the best and hope it makes it big time. So, and I feel like it should. It's got the ability to do it. So definitely a professional film, very well done. Once again, tell Jasmine, thank you.
Yeah, you get a chance to meet at the ribbon cutting. I'll make sure. I'll say, this is John that you talked to on the phone.
Well, she did. Tell her she scared me with that gun though when she had that gun that one time. I'm like, dang.
Emma's Jemima with the gun. I got it.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much, Bishop. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening, and God bless you, and pray that your family does well, and we'll keep promoting it for you. So,
all right, guys. Thank you, John.
Thank y'all. We appreciate
it.
And don't be a stranger, Bishop. Next movie, come on back.
I'm coming back, brother. Lord
absolutely.
All right, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Fully cinematic.